This is, I guess, the emptying of the clip episode of Odds and End Zones. We didn't know if we were going to record or not today, Zo and myself. I'm Shamus Clancy here on the BGN Radio Network, recording at 3:26 Friday afternoon. If you've been on Twitter at all today, you've seen anything, you know there's been so much calamity in the NFL right now about moving games because of COVID breakouts on several different teams today over the last week or so. I think going into last night, Washington might have had 18, 21 players or something like that on the COVID reserve list. I think Washington had 42 or around that number of players on their active roster that would have been able to play Sunday. Eagles were scheduled to play originally home on Sunday at 1 p.m. Now, just a few short minutes ago, NFL goes out and says the Eagles are now playing not Monday night, but Tuesday night at 7 p.m. So, what's your first thought? Philly gets screwed over? I think that's everyone's first thought. And because the reality, it is. This isn't the Eagles' fault. Over the last two seasons, it seems like the Eagles have been one of the teams that have been best able to prevent these types of breakouts. You have a team like Washington who does this, who is a team that obviously everyone in the football world kind of hates because of how, you have the name controversy. You have all the disgusting stuff that's gone on with the ownership and front office over the last 2 decades, really, since Daniel Snyder took over. And it's because of a guy like Montez Sweat, who obviously there's players all around sports who are responsible for breakouts, but someone who's so vehemently anti-vax essentially becomes their patient zero in that locker room, in that building, now has this domino effect where it's going to mess up the Eagles. It could, it's not going to mess with the Eagles' potential ability to make the postseason.
And my thing is, once again, Philly gets the short end of the stick, right? There was no bang action. There was no, Birds are going to play Tuesday, and as a result, Birds Giants is now Christmas weekend is now moved to Monday night. From all intents and purposes, for what we both read 5 minutes before we hopped on, Eagles Giants is still scheduled to happen next Sunday. So that gives you. So let's think about it for a second. So Tuesday night, 7 p.m., right? Game's over at 10 o'clock. That means you got to go straight from end of game right into preparation, right into recovery. So you don't even get that day off. You're going right into testing, by the way. Remember, you're still in the middle.
And you're playing with these people in this environment that have had a bunch of these positive tests too, because again, we're saying the Eagles have been a team that's been great at preventing these types of outbreaks over the last two seasons, but they're going to be go mingling and tackling and going on top of each other for 3 hours Tuesday night.
3 hours. And then you're going right from that to turn right around Wednesday. Wednesday's your walkthrough. Thursday, you may have pads on. And then Friday's your last walkthrough, and then you got to get ready to play a game on Sunday. It's absolutely nuts. And you think about the Bird side of things. Your starting quarterback is still on one leg. You know what I mean? It's like, what if he plays Tuesday and he's gimpy again?
Yeah.
He's only got 3 days.
They're preparing to play in less than 48 hours. That's how it's been their whole week. That's prepared to play that day.
Yep. And I don't think there's been enough said about how that affects them, regardless of being the home team or not. They've been preparing to play all this week. Their schedule has been Sunday game time. That's it. Now you're saying Sunday. It's not like, oh, they got 2 more days of rest. That's not 2 more days of rest. That's 1 more day of strenuous COVID testing and 1 more day of meetings and walkthrough. That's not rest. They're not resting. It doesn't work that way.
I think, and obviously we're kind of give that fan perspective. That's our niche. And the idea that a Tuesday night game at 7 o'clock, we are wiping out home field advantage. Wiping out. You have a situation, and I'm sure teams across the entire NFL fan base has noticed this.
Oh, yeah.
The worst crowd you could have for a home game, 8 p.m. Thursday game.
Yeah.
Just because it's so hard with work.
So hard, yeah.
Sometimes Monday's a little bit easier because sometimes people take off that Monday or something like that. Or it's, 8:15, 8:20, whatever. Yeah. So you're taking away a Sunday 1 o'clock game, which is the easiest game in the world to make for a fan traveling to a game. And also, you have people who bought tickets for this game. Months ago, preparing to go there. What if you're from out of town? You're an Eagles fan who moved to North Carolina for work. Your flight's in here this day, X day, Y day, out of here. They're playing Tuesday night. You think Goodell is going to refund everyone's tickets?
Or what if it was an early Christmas gift? Like you said, what if it was an early Christmas gift for millions of dads, brothers, mothers, sisters around the Delaware Valley, and now you get the news less than 48 hours now that the games are even being played that day.
Yeah. And you have a situation where not only are the 8 o'clock games bad for a weekday, you're doing a 7 o'clock game. Do you remember in the 2018 Eastern Conference semifinals, game 4 in Philadelphia started at 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
A 6 o'clock Tuesday night playoff game. That crowd was outrageous. I had to give them my ticket because I was still working at 9 to 5 then. Yeah. I couldn't make the game.
Yeah.
Now I have a situation, it's Tuesday night, a 7 o'clock game. People don't go to a Phillies game. That's like you're going to have a Phillies game crowd out there. 7 o'clock on a Tuesday. And then you also situation, you're saying like people make plans to come here for this specific day. You're having people like, I fly out, I'm going out of town that next morning.
That's right.
Like if they moved the game, if I was going out on that Tuesday, because I plan my schedule and everything around the Eagles. If that game, if I was flying out on Tuesday, I'm missing the game.
You're missing the game.
You have all these different variables that are taking out. I know like we joke the Eagles are getting screwed over, all those things. But the Eagles have been, again, one of the teams that are best at this. Washington, a dumpster fire organization top to bottom for 2 decades, does this just as both of these teams are in the wild card hunt for the same last spot in the NFC.
Oh, and they have to play again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, the Eagles are going to have 3 divisional games in 13 days. And I guess Washington does too. So you're saying like, well, it's even because they play twice in this set and they each play someone else on Sunday. But it's not the Eagles' fault that this is
not our fault.
It's Washington deserves to have 3 games in 13 days because it's their fault.
Also, back to your point about the fan perspective, because we are fans first. It's Tuesday night during a holiday week. So now you're asking me to give up one night of holiday shopping, one night of whatever for 4 hours down at the link. And like, which I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't mind doing if they had time to plan. No one had time to plan for a Tuesday night football game.
It's the busiest week of the year for everyone. I know not everyone practices, celebrates or practicing for this for religious reasons, but it's obviously in our country, inevitably the most popular, biggest holiday.
We have a weekend Christmas, which like feels
that's
like
a whole wrench itself.
I was just gonna say that's a whole break in itself. So like next week is going to be so incredibly busy for everyone in terms of retailers and going here and going there, and like I just can't do this. I mean, you're doing it, but like it's not. It's there's no other outlook right now other than the Eagles are getting screwed because someone's looking out for Wash Team. Well, we know who that someone is, but someone's looking out for them.
I saw someone say that I'm not going to take credit for it. There is a Clint Epstein relationship between Daniel Snyder and Goodell.
Yeah, I know who it was. Well, we can shout him out later.
I don't know if we should shout him out or not. So
I don't think we can. I don't think we can
say
that.
I'll respect if they're listening. Oh man. And it bothers me because it's Washington too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we have different feelings. Like obviously, I hate Dallas. I do the whole Dallas week thing. Washington is so much more reprehensible on so many different levels.
If it was the Titans, I wouldn't care. Like if it was like the Titans or the Rams,
non-conference game. This is a divisional game.
Yeah.
And a team like whoever wins this game, you're knocking one of the other guys out of the playoff race essentially.
Yep. And I think the other part, right, to remember is it comes on the heels of a week where we found out early on that Daniel Snyder tried to basically submarine the investigation into their business practices.
Correct.
So it came out of this week how big a dirtball that organization continues to be, and 3 days later they get an absolute mulligan because of their players being just totally disrespectful toward the COVID policy. They just continue to catch break after break, unfortunately.
It seems whenever Washington has a real world serious issue off the football field, something else happens to take away that.
Mm-hmm.
I think back to, and it's really disrespectful to his family and his legacy. They were going through one of those, getting sued business practices, abuser type things earlier this season. 3 days before time, hey, we're retiring Sean Taylor's number on Sunday. First of all, his number should have been retired years ago. Second of all, that's a disservice to his legacy, who he left as a person, his family, that you're using him as a cover-up, as a panacea, that Flex Seal meme, smacking on the overflowing water tank.
Yeah. The news comes out, and then that Friday, we're going to retire Chantel's number this weekend. I'm sure it was it was totally planned beforehand.
We were planning, and then Schefter or whoever tweets out the mouthpiece. They were planning this the entire time. Well, they were planning this the entire time. Why weren't they hyping it up for the last 6 weeks?
Yeah, don't trip carrying that water, Schefter.
Yeah, that what is it, like Fantasia, Mickey Mouse carrying the water gift? That's a good one. Fantasia. And I had so much stuff written down about gambling and like lines. Like I did my actual homework for this week. I got the Eagles. Well, yesterday they were -7. Yeah. They were up to, I think, -10.5 today. And I'm sure they are completely off the board as of this writing, right? Yeah. And what's the line going to settle on? I mean, I don't even know what to think of this. Like going this week, I'm like, the Eagles are going to smack them because of all these different things. Like, let's hop on there. And because it could only get worse. And it did get worse. Then the NFL steps in and puts the whammy on that.
It's funny because when Heineke got it, that's when the line jumped right to 10. And then as soon as it jumped to 10, a lot of people were just like, I'm not touching that. Or like, I wouldn't touch that. And like, I was looking at it and I was like, that's kind of weird. Yeah, I'm not sure I would touch that. But that's literally when the rumbling started coming out that, it was going to get postponed. But yeah, as soon as he got added to the list, it all of a sudden jumped to 10. And I was like, and now, like if you search it now, I don't even think they're on there. Like they're not even on the board anymore. So like, who knows what 2 days are going to look like, honestly, because I'm sure, I'm sure their players are going to get tested like tomorrow and probably Sunday and Monday. So we essentially might not find out who the Eagles are playing against until Tuesday morning.
Yeah, I was ready to have the Hurts or Minshew or Jordan Howard prop bets going like they usually do. That's out the window. I got them in a 5-team teaser. I teased them from -7 to -1. Right. I'm not sure. I mean, FanDuel and DraftKings, they're great about this stuff. But I could see that being voided because I don't know because it's a different day. It's not even just like because players are changing. It's a different day completely. I don't know how that works.
Yep. So to our listeners, everybody's aware this is a weird week. We're recording this on Friday.
Yeah, late Friday afternoon, as we just got the news that the Eagles-Washington game is going to be moved to Tuesday night. So we honestly, ironically, did our homework this week, and now it's probably all going to be moot because I don't even think Vegas wants to touch it. The league could fold by the time you're listening to this podcast. I know we have a couple people watching. I put these videos on private. And then I'll post it when the podcast actually goes up. So I was rushing today because I have a Christmas party after this.
Yeah.
Everything's so hectic. And so people are watching now. So I appreciate people watching now. You can always find our videos on YouTube, the BGN YouTube page, our channel. You can subscribe to that. I always put the link of that in our podcast descriptions for these episodes as well as from the Bleachers. So be sure to check us out on there. Had a couple other notes we could run through because they're not Eagles dependent, just quick stuff so people can get this good info. I saw DraftKings is doing a little promo. You have to make sure whenever you see these promos, not just specifically for this one, not just see it, but make sure you opt in too. Again, we're not experts. We just want to make sure people know what they're doing. Because that's probably happened to us at different points in time. You're in on this bonus offer. Make sure you opt in and click through there.
For sure.
But I saw DraftKings is doing for any NFL 4+ leg single game parlay bet this weekend. If just one of your bet misses, if you just have one miss, exactly one miss, you get a free bet later on from that.
I love that.
It's a good thing to keep in your back pocket because you have your Sunday free to watch every game. You're going to have Red Zone on one TV. The other team, it's going to be a stress-free Sunday. I'm thinking I'm playing my weekend. I'm like, man, going here tonight, there tomorrow night. Going to be going to the lots Sunday morning. I don't know.
That's
also, the Flyers play at 7:00 at the Wells Fargo Center on Tuesday night.
It's gonna be such a mess, dude. And it's funny because we're doing the same thing. We were like, all right, so like Saturday we'll take the kids to see, the Miracle on 33rd Street,
Beautiful.
34th Street, excuse me, the lights and all that stuff. And then we'll take them we're gonna take them down to Christmas Village downtown. Like we'll do all that Saturday because Sunday we're just gonna be on the couch. Like it's the big game of the year. We're just gonna be on the couch Sunday. And now like we're like, I'm texting back and forth with my parents, and they're like, oh, I guess we can switch it up now if we want to. So I'm like, I guess.
You have people like you, picking up your kids from daycare, this school, whatever, rushing on a Tuesday night to get home and to watch the game, because we're talking about like concrete stuff with home field advantage and like the intensity in the stadium and all, but it affects the little guys and just the casual viewer. This is going to be probably one of the worst viewed or at least viewed Eagles game all season, unless they are completely out of it in week 18 or whatever.
Listen, you know my schedule. 7 p.m. could not be worse. I missed the first quarter of Sixers games, and I'll probably miss at least the first quarter, maybe more into the second of this game, because that's prime bedtime for like if you have a toddler or an infant.
Any kid under 5, you're screwed.
Anything under 5, that's prime bedtime. Like, when they're 5 and up, you can just tell them, all right, bedtime. Do like hop in, good night. I'll see you in the morning. Under that, it's like you have to, you're prepping them for it. So like that's a really good point. There's a lot of parents who are going through the same thing. Like that's just a prime time where you might not get the viewership you want literally until after halftime. Like, so God forbid it's a blowout going into halftime.
I hope the Eagles players are so angry. We have some social media posts, and I'm going to read those off too, that they go out there, regardless if it's Taylor Heineke, whether it's LaSalle College High School graduate Kyle Shermer at quarterback, whether it's Gilbert Godfrey at quarterback, go out there and smash the crap out of them on both sides of the ball, have a Navy offense, throw the ball 8 times, rush for 267 yards, and win 33-7, and embarrass them. Embarrass them for trying to embarrass you in your own stadium.
Literally make them tap out. Like submit them. Like make it so they literally don't even want to come back on the field again.
Karl Anthony Towns style. We have Rodney McLeod. Slay's been going off, so I had to read Slay's whole timeline. But I did bookmark one Rodney McLeod tweet. He says, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl hero, had that unbelievable tackle. If you remember that, like, karate chop tackle.
Unbelievable karate chop tackle. Thank you, Rodney.
The team's cap, like the leader of the defense.
Yeah, for sure.
Leader of the defense. So we have to suffer and compromise our schedule because of another team's mistake. Make it make sense, SM Mitch. I mean, is he wrong? Slay could have had 7 tweets since the last time since this podcast started too. All right, so and then he's retweeting stuff from players that are on the other teams because who are the other teams? Like the Rams Seahawks game's affected. Browns Raiders. So if you're a Raiders fan, a Raiders player, they're supposed to play Saturday night.
Yeah,
that game's Monday night, and the Browns play on Christmas Day, the next Saturday too. So Slay's saying, damn, I thought the team would have to forfeit. Obviously, team meaning Washington.
Right.
This is crazy, like SMH emoji, whatever. And then he retweets Casey Hayward, who plays on the Raiders.
Yep.
Real BS. Obviously doesn't say BS. They said before the season they would not reschedule. You have Damian Woody, former unfortunate Super Bowl champion, played against the Eagles. I thought the league said it wasn't changing games this season because of the vaccines. You have Slay retweeting KJ Wright, another player on the Raiders. I pay my player dues just to get lied to when the rules bent at the NFL and NFL Players Association. Players Association, disaster right now.
Disaster.
If it was the other way around, I swear we would be playing tomorrow. And then Slay, 51 minutes ago, says, that's crazy. We play Tuesday night, then turn right around and play Sunday. No days off. Shrug emoji. Yeah. Double up on massages this week. I mean, no comment there. I don't want to get into anything massage related to NFL players. So I'm not saying that was funny or anything like that. Yeah. That's just what he said.
That's just what he said. Yeah.
That's just what he said. A little taken aback, but that's what he said.
I think that I think also the players know, right? Your boss. The players knew, I think, in the back of their minds that they were never going to cancel games.
No. But I'm glad they're saying that.
So that's the thing, right? I'm glad that they're saying it. It's more specifically in the NFL. I feel like we talked about this before. The NFL Players Association is a disaster.
It's the worst. It's
It's
the
the
worst
worst.
players
It's an
association.
absolute mess, man. It's a mess. Like, and you look at theirs as compared to like the NBA's, and like the NBA got a meeting with Adam Silver last night. Like the players got their meeting last night, and these guys have to at the Twitter account to even probably get recognition about it. Like it's just two different worlds, and like I really wish NFL players were more empowered to make themselves heard in situations like this because they're all right. It's a player safety issue. It's a issue. It's a mental and physical health issue, and I just don't think that a league that claims to promote it and put more of an emphasis on it is really being serious in cases like this. It just isn't.
For a league that has non-guaranteed contracts, MLB and NBA aren't like that,
Nope.
and who has exponentially, not even close, the least safe league, and saying least safe
Yeah,
is kind of underselling it.
it's
The
underselling.
most
Yeah,
dangerous sport to play, where not only could you not be able to really play with your kids 7 years down the line after you play 2 years, you're on the practice squad 1 year, you get cut in training camp the next year, your body's never right
you
again.
guys are right.
You have guys who really are putting their lives at risk because you see what's happened over the last 30 years in players' death, and not in old age, but
Yep.
guys passing away in their 40s and 50s. And then the Players Association acts like this. It's a safety issue for players. And
Yep.
we're talking about like saying like, oh, we want them to forfeit. Yeah, I want them to forfeit because I want the Eagles to win. I
Right.
mean, that's obvious. That's part of the joke. That's part of the
That's the
shtick.
joke, right?
Yes. But you're also putting Eagles players at risk.
Yeah.
Who've been, again, I said this a couple of times, have been really, really good.
They've been
at
great
preventing
about
these breakouts. And they're going to this. I know that these players that are going to be there have tested negative and all those things, but this is a situation where maybe they aren't going to be testing positive yet, and all
Right.
those types of things. Not only we're not gambling experts, we are also not scientists.
We're not right. We're not epidemiologists. We're not any of that stuff. So like we don't know. All we know is they say outside of these 22 players, everyone's tested negative. But again, tomorrow could be a different thing. And then again, what happens Monday? What happens Monday if instead of 10 guys getting taken off the list, 12 guys get added? like it's a mess.
Yeah, dude, I mean, like, what happens Monday? Exactly. Like, what if the entire team is off on Monday?
like, it's a joke, and I really wish that one of these years the NFL players had someone in that organization who spoke up for them because their players union right now is just a joke.
We're getting close to NFL second game of back-to-back performances. We're going to have NFL doubleheaders baseball style in 2026 when Roger Goodell steps down as commissioner and then becomes the president of the Players Association.
Oh man, that's gonna be tough.
Is Troy Vincent still up there? He's NFL guy. He was the do we consider him a sellout because he was the player president of the Players Association and now works for the Shield? I get that he's still involved, but it is a little.
I won't call him a sellout because the bag was probably phenomenal.
And he's obviously someone who probably has strong relationships with both sides, and theoretically he could have went over and said, "Hey guys, I know," not like he's being serious like a double agent, but a guy saying, "Hey, I know what these people want. Yeah. I've been there. I've been them. Exactly. Let me go work on the other side, and we'll build a bridge, so to speak."
And I think that he probably did that in good faith. He was probably like, "Yo, I'm a former player. It would be nice to have a former player in that capacity."
Yeah.
Because I also think that the assumption is that there's a lot of player influence in those positions, and it really isn't. A lot of people that make those calls aren't former players. Roger Goodell is not a former player. Like, if you look at a lot of these jobs, people get it from coming in on the ground floor and just working their way to the top, or more than likely, which is the most popular issue is someone likes you. You attach to someone powerful who likes you, and you get you get to ride that ride to the top with them. So like there is not really an opportunity for a former player to be like, hey, like I want to advocate for player health issues. Like, how do I get into the players union in a leadership position, and like and to be taken serious? That's the second part. So I think that there's definitely a need for that influence.
Do you think Adam Silver could have balled in the pros?
No.
He kind of had a TJ McConnell-esque career.
You know what?
He's Caruso. He's actually like we're getting into the multiverse Marvel. He's a time-displaced Alex Caruso.
He's like a
Terminator style. They put Alex Caruso back in time, old Alex Caruso, to save the NBA COVID situation.
He's the third generation Caruso. He's like the third multiverse Caruso.
There's only one Saturday game now. I wanted to talk about Colts Patriots. Obviously, that has some juice for Philadelphia on several levels. Obviously, Carson Wentz used to play in Philadelphia, plays the quarterback for there now. We always get amped for the Patriots because everyone hates the Patriots. And then the juiciness, too, is the Eagles own that pick, that first-round pick, or could be a second-round pick. But it looks like, again, no sabermetrician over here, but looking at that Wentz snap count, tracker account, great account, I don't know who runs it, but hats off to whoever that is. It looks like if he plays a full game on Sunday, that should clinch that 75% threshold needed to Eagles get that first-round pick in return for Indianapolis. Colts are at home, so that's part of it. But Colts, as of saying this, are 2.5-point favorites, which really took me aback the way New England has been playing.
I don't think enough people buy into their offense, that vaunted Mac Jones offense. Excuse me. They won a football game 2 weeks ago, throwing the football 3 times. So I think enough.
Nick Sirianni wishes that could be him.
I think enough people are probably like, if the Colts defense, which isn't too shabby, if they come to play, they could do some things, which I believe. I do think that a lot of people believe in that Colts defense, especially they'll be in a playoff setting. They could surely do some damage. I'm not sure if they could hold up, throughout the entire game, but it might be enough to give Mac Jones some issues.
Who would you rather bet on in a primetime nationally televised game? I'm looking at my notes right here. Bill Belichick or Carson Wentz?
Belichick.
Yeah, I took them plus 2.5. I wouldn't hate it taking that, but I ended up tucking them adjusted line plus 3.5. We always talk about plus 3.5 is always where you're trying to get that if you're betting on an underdog there. And in that 5-team teaser I talked about earlier with the Birds, I teased them from plus 2.5 to plus 8.5, which I think is great. I just
in specifically in that matchup, but also in general, I find it's tough to bet against Belichick because he always finds a way to snake it out, dude. I don't know how he does it. I don't want to know what kind of magic that is, but he always finds a way.
They have a fierce front seven, New England. And I think they're going to stack the box. Jonathan Taylor, people talk about MVP. To me, a non-quarterback can never be MVP because it's inherently can't be the most valuable player. But I need a definition whether, the true sense of value, whether it's the best player is always a quarterback. But I think offensive player of the year should be revamped as the best skill position player award. And he's unquestionably that this season. Cooper Kupp having an historic season of his own. But that's how good Jonathan Taylor has been. Yeah. I think Belichick will sell out on the run, say Jonathan Taylor isn't going to do anything tonight. We are going to make Carson Wentz beat us in a huge game.
Yeah, and Cooper Kupp comes to mind. I know Debo's having a great season.
If there's a unique player award, Debo, one of the most unique players I've ever seen.
I like that, and he's certainly unique, and he certainly does. I mean, that he's literally the whole offense, which is amazing. But yeah, I don't think anyone's touching Jonathan Taylor right now, man. He does everything he does, and the way he does it, it's incredible.
He has 18 touchdowns through 13 games. I was looking at this because I wrote about it tomorrow. I'm going to have to rip up my newsletter for tomorrow. If you like my podcast tweets writing, check out my newsletter from Broadsheet with Love newsletter, patreon.com/Shamus Clancy. I looked, there had been 62 player seasons. So not 62 players who've done it, but 62 seasons where players have scored at least 18 touchdowns. And look at the math. Taylor's on pace to have about 24 touchdowns.
Insane.
And I know it's a 17-game season, but there have only been he would be the eighth. It would be the 8th time someone had 24 touchdowns. It's
absolutely nuts, man.
Priest did it twice.
Yeah.
LT did it. Falk did it in 14 games. Marshall Falk. John Riggins, old Washington, I guess running back, fullback, halfback, whatever they're saying it, in 1983. The only white boy on the list did it in 14 games as well. But they're all 16-game season, but they were doing it in 14 games. So really historic season.
and he's going to do it in less than the 17 games. But another thing, just that body, I wouldn't bet on him to do it again because we just talked.
Yeah, I don't know
about.
if he's guaranteed the 1-1 pick in fantasy next year.
Yeah,
he might be.
He might be, and that's a tough pill to swallow. But man, I mean, it's taking a toll, obviously. So I'm not quite sure I would. Like I said, I'm not quite sure he's my 1-1 next year, but this year he's everything you wanted him to be, and his body is holding up incredibly.
Have you watched any of their Hard Knocks? I was planning on watching it, and then they started playing well, and I was like, it's not going to be fun if they're playing well. There's no shade and fraud aspect.
I did think they were going to suck, but since they went on that little streak, I was like, there's no reason to turn it on.
And we like Hard Knocks in August because we're starved. We're down bad Sims for NFL content, so I'll watch anything. And in the middle of the season, like there's games on 3 nights a week. There's college. There's pro hoops. There's Sixers. I can watch watch NFL Network for 3 hours, whatever.
Yeah. I did hear that.
14 minutes ago. Sorry to cut you off. Washington put 2 more players on the COVID list, including former Eagle and I guess Super Bowl champion Wendell Smallwood. Though I don't think he was active in that game.
It's 24. For anybody keeping count, 24 people on the COVID list.
They're not gonna have 22 players.
No.
On Tuesday.
No, they're gonna have guys playing a Catholic League Ironman ball.
60. The return of the 60-minute man.
That's going to be such an ugly football game. I know. I feel like we said this so many times this year, but if you are not a fan of either of these teams, I highly recommend you just don't tune in. Like it's going to be, man, it is not going to be one for the football purists. That's for sure. And it's just it's going to be ugly. But the other interesting thing, right? And again, we're not scientists, but that's exactly what we thought would happen. It has already happened in the 15 minutes we've been on here. So, and it's only Friday. We still have 2 more days of testing to find out just how bad this actually is.
I'm looking at the other games that got moved around the times. The games on Tuesday, they're both on Fox.
Yes.
At 7:00. So does it just get split by the country? Is that game only shown in the local markets? I don't know how that works. And one of them, I'm not going to get mad about LA fans because Southern California sports fandom doesn't exist, which is fun if you're a hardcore fan, whatever. But that's a Seahawks-Rams game at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That game's 4 p.m. kickoff.
4 p.m.
there. That's insane.
It's 80 degrees in December in LA. People are gonna be at the beach. Like it's nuts.
Why wouldn't you put that game at 10 o'clock and show them both nationally?
Just say it's a 7 o'clock start and
it's 7 o'clock both places.
7 o'clock literally 10 o'clock. 10 p.m. Eastern on our time.
They used to do that for the Monday night doubleheader in week 1 on ESPN.
We're going to already be up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Monday is Raiders Browns at 5 p.m. and it's at Cleveland, so Browns fans can't complain.
Browns fans, right?
Because they're the ones that have caused the situation.
They caused it, right? Yeah.
But a Raiders fan, if they're from California, Oakland, that's a 3 o'clock game.
That's a 3 o'clock game, yeah.
And then if you're in Vegas too, if you're now a Vegas Raiders fan, that's also a 3 o'clock game.
That's a 3 o'clock game, yeah, man. It's tough sledding.
I'm a big geography guy.
It's tough sledding, man. It's no one was done any favors outside of Washington. Out of all 4 of these teams.
Yeah, and then Elliott Shore Parks had a tweet. I want to read it off because it is pertinent to the Eagles based off some of these postponements. ESP says this from WIP ESP. Another way this impacts the Eagles, talking about all the games that have been changed. He says Rams game being rescheduled to Tuesday now means Minnesota gets to play them on a short week. So Minnesota plays on Monday night.
Right.
And they were going to have the shorter of the weeks. Right. But now they have a longer week than Los Angeles, who's playing on Tuesday.
Who's playing on Tuesday.
And the Vikings are currently, though they have this, there's a handful of teams that have a 6-7 record right now. Right. Vikings are the first team out right now because over the Eagles. So Washington 7 seed, they're currently the third wildcard team in the playoffs right now. You have the 8 seed Vikings who are ahead of the Eagles based on winning percentage in common games currently. Yeah. And then you have the Eagles 9th there. So if we win out, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go to the playoffs because Minnesota could theoretically win out and get in over them. And that screws them.
That's a testament to the handle your business, right?
Yes.
We could win out and still not even be able to sniff the playoffs. So there's a lot of work to be done on our end, a lot of work that needs, I think, need to
Need some
happen.
help. Still need
Yeah,
help.
like still,
Still need
you got to
help.
win out, you need help. So like, pipe dream of all pipe dreams, but it certainly doesn't help that the teams that we're vying with are getting help, more help than us, apparently.
I don't know, man. Monday night, I was really amped because the Vikings play on Monday Night Football this week. I was really excited for it to have go to the Eagles game on Sunday,
Yeah.
have them win, come home Monday. Great double TV setup. You got Sixers Celtics on one TV. You have Vikings Bears on their TV, rooting for the Vikings to lose that game. So the
Yeah.
Eagles, bam, going into next week. They are currently slated to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. Nothing's ever easy, man. And in our world of being, fringe playoff teams, it was
like they should have just won more games during the year. That's obviously a thing too. We can't cry wolf too much, but it is what it is right now.
Yeah.
Things aren't looking good. Aren't working out in their favor. Might be a better way.
Yeah, it's not, and it's unfortunately, like you said, like we keep saying the what ifs of the world are, what if they win that Niners game? What if they don't? I mean, there's a laundry list of what ifs.
The Giants game.
Giants game, Niners game. What if they don't come out flat against Dallas? You know what I mean? Like now you need some help. Like we said, and you're not short of a lot. You need a lot of help. So we can we're crying wolf, but also we should be looking ourselves in the mirror really hard and saying, you know what, if we don't make it, it's partially our fault.
I open up the blinds when I do the podcast because I have poor natural light in this area, and a guy just walked by and is like staring at me because I have the ring light up too, thinking like, who the hell is this guy doing this? Like, obviously not a this isn't an OnlyFans video or something like that.
He thinks you're a men's Fashion Nova influencer, dude.
I broke out the Supreme hat for the first time ever on a video podcast. Thinking I was going to be all out wearing it to the Christmas party night. I'll put the Supreme hat on. And then they do this to me, the NFL.
You know what? At least the party's tonight, so you'll be able to properly get rid of your sorrows for one night.
I was drinking a nice ice cold Kenwood during this show. I had a shower beer because we didn't know what. So just for people to all this build up, we had been scheduled to record at 3:15 today for a bit. And then everything happens. We're like, okay, I guess we're not going to just record at all. Schedule it indefinitely. And then we're like, actually, we are going to record at 3:15. So I had to rush, get a shower, hop and get ready. Got to go pick up dry cleaning for going to Florida next week. Haven't been on vacation.
That's right.
In 2 years, man.
That's awesome, man.
Not a big vacation, like flying. Not like that I go all over the place for like a true vacation.
That's
but excited for that. And got to get the dry cleaning. Get my Bryce Harper Hawaiian shirt. Break it out in Epcot.
That's what, because you're gonna get so many high fives with that. You gotta break that out in Epcot. You gotta break out your Spidey t-shirts.
Yeah, I got my Eternals t-shirt ready to wear.
Eternals t-shirt ready to wear.
Hollywood Studios.
It's gonna be a fun time, man. A buddy of mine and his wife and his son, they go down every year around this time, and they're leaving I think Tuesday. And they do the same thing. They do
we're from the same flight. I'll wear my Friends with Zo shirt.
Yeah, right. When you're out in public, wear your Friends with Zo shirt. You never know who you're. But that's awesome, man. It's a really fun time. I think our Disney trip, our first Disney trip with the kids, is probably going to be next year.
Nice.
So we're looking forward to it. I love Disney. I think it's every kid should be able to go to Disney.
Yeah. I went. I guess I was 6 or 7 when I went. It was really special.
Yeah, so like it's a fun time, man. You guys are gonna have a blast.
Seeing Magic Kingdom during Christmas, I feel like it's gonna be unbelievable. Like that. That should be good vibes there.
It's gonna be so. I'm sure you already did this, but just find Tuesday night. Just find and check the time zones down there too, so you don't screw yourself. But
yeah,
when you guys get down there, just find the biggest and best Eagles bar in Disney.
I've been calling places the last couple of days.
I was just
you don't think Ivan's going down there and asking the the concierge at the Margaritaville Cottages Hotel.
The the 19-year-old concierge. He's like, dude, I don't know, man. It's a bar down the street.
I called 3 different like normal bars, just meaning there's an Eagles bar in Orlando.
Yeah.
But it's like a 40-minute ride, and
Okay,
it's going to be Ashley and my parents. I was like, I don't. If it was just me and Ashley, I would do it, but I don't want to do that with my parents and ask a lot of them. There's a Miller's Ale House that's a 7-minute drive from us, and obviously that's not flashy. There's nothing really like, I'm in the Tiki Bar at Margaritaville right now. But I did call them, and I was like, hey, we're out of town. Come to Disney for Christmas. Big Eagles fan Sunday. We're not going to the parks. Will you have? Can I come in and ask to put a certain game on a certain TV? And they're like, hey, if you come in at like 12, we should be able to put you wherever you want and do that. I was like, perfect. I'll just do that.
Perfect.
Or maybe that game's – I wouldn't mind if the game got moved to Monday. At this point, I obviously want that game to get moved to Monday to help the Eagles. But selfishly, I'd like to enjoy that day in Disney and not spend 4 hours in the Miller's Ale House.
You want to enjoy vacation, dude. Yeah. Nothing selfish about that.
Yeah, earlier in the year, I was like, maybe they'll be out of it, and I might just skip the game and DVR it and watch them come back. But now I can't. So I got some Instagram captions ready.
Yes.
Got the Epcot one is if you escape what I escaped, you'd be in Epcot Paris getting effed up too. just wearing like a Bryce Harper shirt and like a skin. I'm going to get my hair cut Tuesday. Get the skin fade. Holding like a souvenir Star Wars cup or something.
Souvenir Star Wars and like a lightsaber and like that's the caption. That's perfect. That's
exactly got the Iron Man Iron Gauntlet on my wrist.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to wrap up. We were pretty peed off, but that was fun.
We got a good 40 minutes.
It was a good event. It was a good event.
Yeah, that was a good event session. I think people will enjoy it. Yeah, for sure. We definitely spoke for a lot of people today.
Yeah. So if you're upset, we're upset too. Hopefully you can listen to this a little therapeutic. Enjoy your weekend. Maybe have some stuff going on holiday wise. If you do, be safe, have fun, and hopefully we'll talk next week. Maybe we'll see now this messes up the recording schedule for next week because I'm planning because I was thinking I'll record it from the bleachers Monday. We'll do odds and ends Tuesday. Yeah. I'll go on a plane Wednesday. Now we might not be able to record it all.
We might not be able to record it all. We'll take obviously like we do everything. We'll take it play by play. Like, if you guys had to miss us for a week, don't worry. We'll still tweet out a nice little parlay for you. But yeah, like Shane said, enjoy your holiday weekend, enjoy your holiday week, and we'll see you Tuesday night. Go Birds.
Roger Goodell, you're a clown. He should be forced to go to the game on Sunday or Tuesday now. Sorry. And sit up in the 200 level with the crazies.
That's the only mea culpa I would accept from him.
He has to wear a Cowboy starter jacket.
Yes.
All right, keep bleeding green, everyone.